because they don't understand commercial property to the level that they do residential, interest on a commercial property is 100% tax deductible, and those are separate rules from residential property again. So, yeah, I suppose it's an asset class that at the moment is a little bit protected, especially when compared to Australia. But then even when we compare it to our own residential property rules here in New Zealand.
Yeah, and it always will be.
Yeah.
And the reason is no one cares about it. Everyone's so focused on the political side of residential because it's topical. Like, rents have gone up. You got to, immigration levels are too high. They're taking our properties. All that kind of stuff is a residential chat. In commercial, we're never in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So, and it's very important to have an asset class that won't have those shocks in the system because, you've had it. It's going to happen in Australia, and I keep saying it to my Australian audience, is like, don't think that the rules you've got today are going to be there forever because every state government's changing things more and more tenant-friendly. And when the population base goes over 50% tenants versus the others, all of a sudden it's going to go further that way. So there is genuine political risk for both our countries in the residential space, which you need to be aware of. And that's why you don't go too hard, too long into that. Because you don't want to get caught leveraged up in a big portfolio and all of a sudden there's a maximum rent you're allowed to do, or they take the interest rate out, or maybe they start taxing on unrealized gains. I don't know. There'll be something there. Yeah. And that's where the risk can be.
I find it fascinating speaking to somebody like you who comes to New Zealand, but also comes from a background of property. But like a lot of the things that you're talking about in terms of residential property, like Kiwi people will not think about, nor like they won't go down that path because it'll kind of be she'll be right, surely they won't do that. But the beauty with what you're talking about, I think with commercial property, you're sort of then forced to understand business as well, demographics and aging populations, and even just like looking at risk in a very, very different way, which is cool because it's like anything. Once you start learning about something like residential for yourself, you then compound those lessons into the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. And I think it's a good reminder for all of us just to keep our learning going and be open-minded to the changes that can come.
Yeah, and there's definitely going to be changes as well. Like it's I guess there's more and more people that won't ever buy a house anymore, and that's like you think what's a politician's job? To get votes, So if they bring a policy that affects more people that vote for them, they're not going to protect investors if we're the minority. So get ready for that. Invest and spread your risk around, and that might be different countries or might be different states or different asset classes. But you got to remember politicians are there for votes, and the minute the majority goes a different way, that's when things happen. Yeah.
Well, you're making it almost sound a little bit too easy, and maybe that's because you've got 110 million of your own in terms of commercial, and you've done $6 billion worth of deals.